Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is R.S. Raghu with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Quad countries are united by democratic values and commitment to a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific, addresses the first Quad leaders virtual summit. Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav marking 75th anniversary of India's independence launched from Sabarmati Ashram in Gujarat. Prime Minister says development of Atmanirbhar Bharat will boost the development of the world. Filing of nominations begins for third phase of assembly elections in West Bengal and Assam and single phase elections in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Tirath Singh Rawat inducts 11 ministers in his cabinet. Mera Ration mobile app for migratory ration card holders launched. India supplies over 5 crore 85 lakh doses of vaccines to nearly 70 countries. India and China reviewed the situation along LAC in the western sector, agreed to maintain stability at the ground level and maintain close communication through diplomatic and military channels. And in T20 cricket, India were 102 for 4 in 17 overs against England in Ahmedabad in the first of the 5-match series. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said Quad countries are united by democratic values and commitment to a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. Speaking at the first Quad leaders virtual summit this evening, Mr. Modi said today's agenda covering areas like vaccines, climate change and emerging technologies makes the Quad a force for global good.
I see this positive vision as an extension of India's ancient philosophy of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, which regards the world as one family. We will work together closer than ever before for advancing our shared values and promoting a secure, stable and prosperous Indo-Pacific.
Mr. Modi, along with US President Joe Biden, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga are participating in the virtual summit. Our correspondent reports that the leaders will discuss regional and global issues of shared interests and exchange views on practical areas of cooperation towards maintaining a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific region. The summit will provide an opportunity to exchange views on contemporary challenges such as resilient supply chains, emerging and critical technologies, maritime security and climate change, ongoing efforts to combat COVID-19 pandemic and opportunities for collaboration in ensuring safe, equitable and affordable vaccines in the Indo-Pacific region will also come up for discussion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said the development of Atmanirbhar Bharat will also boost the development of the world. He said India's achievements are beneficial not only for India but also for the entire mankind and they create new hope for the human race. The Prime Minister was speaking after launching Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav, marking the beginning of celebrations of 75th anniversary of India's independence at Sabarmati Gandhi Ashram in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Addressing a special gathering, the Prime Minister also flagged off the reenact of historic Dandi March from Sabarmati Ashram.
भारत की उपलब्धियां आज सिर्फ हमारी अपनी नहीं है, बल्कि ये पूरी दुनिया को रोशनी दिखाने वाली है, पूरी मानवता को उम्मीद जगाने वाली है। भारत की आत्मनिर्भरता से ओतप्रोत हमारी विकास यात्रा पूरी दुनिया की विकास यात्रा को गति देने वाली है। कोरोना काल में ये हमारे सामने प्रत्यक्ष सिद्ध भी हो रहा है। मानवता को महामारी के संकट से बाहर निकालने में, वैक्सीन निर्माण में भारत की आत्मनिर्भरता का आज पूरी दुनिया को लाभ मिल रहा है.
He said that India is self-reliant in developing and manufacturing COVID-19 vaccines. Prime Minister said that India is also helping other nations of the world in the fight against the COVID-19. Prime Minister Modi said that people's participation would be the key in the nationwide celebrations of Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav.
आज हमारे स्वाधीनता संग्राम के कितने ही पुण्य तीर्थ, कितने ही पवित्र केंद्र साबरमती आश्रम से जुड़े रहे, स्वाधीनता संग्राम की पराकाष्ठा को प्रणाम करने वाली अंडमान की सेल्यूलर जेल, अरुणाचल प्रदेश से एंग्लो इंडियन वॉर की गवाह केकर मॉर्निंग की भूमि, मुंबई का अगस्त क्रांति मैदान, पंजाब का जलियांवाला बाग, उत्तर प्रदेश का मेरठ, काकोरी और झांसी, देश भर में ऐसे कितने ही स्थान पर आज एक साथ इस अमृत महोत्सव का श्री गणेश हो रहा है.
Prime Minister said that pillars of freedom struggle, ideas at 75, achievements at 75, actions at 75 and resolves at 75 will motivate independent India to fulfill its dreams and duties. He said that salt is a symbol of Atmanirbharta. Mr. Modi said apart from our values and self-respect, the Britishers had also attacked our salt. Mahatma Gandhi felt the pain of the public and launched Salt Satyagraha, which took a freedom struggle to the people. The Prime Minister said that India is self-reliant in developing and manufacturing COVID-19 vaccines. Prime Minister said that India is also helping other nations of the world in their fight against the COVID-19. Prime Minister Modi said that people's participation will be the key in the nationwide celebrations of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. He appealed the people to come forward with new ideas and contribute in Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. He said through this event, everybody is witnessing history.
ये हम सभी का सौभाग्य है कि हम आजाद भारत के इस ऐतिहासिक कालखंड के साक्षी बन रहे हैं. आज दांडी यात्रा की वर्षगांठ पर हम बापू की इस कर्मस्थली पर इतिहास बनते भी देख रहे हैं और इतिहास का हिस्सा भी बन रहे हैं.
Prime Minister said the next generation should be made aware of the rich history of the country.
इतिहास साक्षी है कि किसी राष्ट्र का गौरव तभी जागृत रहता है जब वो अपने स्वाभिमान और बलिदान की परंपराओं को अगली पीढ़ी को भी सिखाता है, संस्कारित करता है, उन्हें इसके लिए निरंतर प्रेरित करता है. किसी राष्ट्र का भविष्य तभी उज्जवल होता है जब वो अपने अतीत के अनुभवों और विरासत के गर्व से पल पल जुड़ा रहता है.
Prime Minister also launched a special website for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Union Culture Minister Prahlad Singh Patel said that a Charca has been installed near Magan Niwas at Sabarmati Ashram. It will rotate full circle with each tweet related to Atmanirbhar Bharat. He also appealed the people to buy any local product and post a picture on social media using hashtag Vocal for Local. State and Union Territories governments are also organizing programs all over the country today. In addition to these programs, the Archaeological Survey of India and zonal cultural centers under the Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Youth Affairs and TriFed have planned various activities to mark the occasion.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today called for concerted efforts to eradicate poverty, illiteracy, corruption and other social evils like gender discrimination as part of building an economically stronger India. He said that will be a real tribute to freedom fighters. In a Facebook post on the occasion of the launch of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, a 75-week festival to commemorate 75 years of India's independence, the Vice President said that this is a defining moment in national journey and an opportunity to recollect the legacy bequeathed to us by Mahatma Gandhi and the countless freedom fighters. He said that it is people's solemn duty to remember and celebrate the extraordinary spirit of country's freedom fighters, their supreme sacrifices and their lofty ideals. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla said India has become a strong democracy in 75 years of independence. Addressing a gathering of youth at Kila Rai Pithoda in Delhi on the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, he said that India with 17 general elections and over 400 state elections has become an example of strong democracy. He said power transfer was always smooth transition in India. He called for imbibing the selflessness of country's freedom fighters and called the youth to take pledge to put the nation first in every effort. Union Minister for Agriculture Narendra Singh Tomar, Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju were also present on the occasion. In Uttar Pradesh, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath inaugurated the opening function of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav at Kakori Shaheed Smarak in Lucknow. He said that the state government will organize functions on the important and historical dates regarding to the Indian national movement. Chief Minister said that when India completes 100 years of independence, we have to fulfill the dream of Ek Bharat, Shreshth Bharat and establish it as the most powerful country. More from our correspondent.
Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also inaugurated the photo exhibition at Shahid Smarak Kakori, which showcases the important historic documents and pictures related to freedom struggle. The exhibition will continue till 16th March. Many functions and events were organized in every district of the state related to the function, in which union ministers as well as state ministers and other officials took part. The address of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Ahmedabad was broadcast live and large number of people gathered to listen to the Prime Minister. Floral tributes were paid to martyrs and tricolor balloons were released amidst playing of the national anthem by police bands. Volunteers also hold cycle rally to commemorate the 100 years of Dandi March. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Jammu and Kashmir, a grand Shikhara rally in connection with Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav was held in world-famous Dal Lake in Srinagar today. The rally was flagged off by the advisor to Lieutenant Governor Basir Ahmad Khan from Kashmir International Convention Centre KICC lawns on the banks of Dal Lake, which culminated at Nehru Park. 100 Shikaras were part of the rally.
In the Union Territory of Puducherry, Lieutenant Governor Dr. Tamilisai Soundarajan kick-started the celebrations of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. There will be grand celebrations happening for the next 75 weeks. More from a Puducherry correspondent.
On this occasion, the Lieutenant Governor Dr. Tamilisai Soundarajan flagged off the boat rally with 75 boats, cycle rally with 75 students participating, and initiated the plantation drive to plant 75,000 saplings at Gandhi Tidal and on Promenade Beach in front of the Secretariat. Dr. Tamilisai participated at the commemoration of the 91st anniversary of the Dandi March, a special event with the students and NSS volunteers. Addressing the media and the public gathered at the Gandhi Tidal, Lieutenant Governor said that Puducherry is the land of freedom fighters and social reformers like Subramania Bharati, Sri Aurobindo, Bharatidasan, Chandramohan. AIR News, Puducherry.
Goa Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant said that inculcating patriotic fervour among the youth is the need of the hour. He was speaking at Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav event held at Azad Maidan, Panaji. The history of the country is very deep and full of inspiring incidents and youth can learn from it, he added. The nation has unity in its diversity and the patriotism brings us together, he added further. The event was inaugurated by Dr. Sawant by offering floral tributes to Sardar Patel, Mahatma Gandhi and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Deputy Chief Minister Chandrakant Kavlekar attended the event held at Margao in South Goa.
In Manipur, as the part of celebration, a rally was held in Bishnupur district. The rally was flagged off at INA Martyrs Memorial Complex, Moirang. A legal awareness camp was also held in Noni district. It was organized by Manipur State Legal Services Authority. A mass rally was also organized by the Tengnopal District Administration, which was attended by school students. Many events are also being held in Manipur in connection to the completion of 4 years of BJP-led government in Manipur. In Mizoram, the main program of the celebration was held in Aizawl with the State Art and Culture Minister R. Lalzirliana flagging off the March of the Nation rally taken out by the students. Lalzirliana addressed the public after launching the ceremonial function of the celebration at Vanappa Hall premises in Aizawl.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is addressing the Global Ayurveda Festival. Now we take you live to the Prime Minister's address.
There is growing interest towards them. The world is seeing how modern and traditional medicines both are important to further wellness. People are realizing the benefits of Ayurveda and its role in boosting immunity. People are making Kada, Basil, Black Pepper integrate parts of their lives. Friends, there are many flavors of tourism today. But what India specially offers you is wellness tourism. And I repeat again, wellness tourism. At the core of wellness tourism is the principle of treat illness, further wellness. When I talk about wellness tourism, its strongest pillar is Ayurveda and traditional medicine. Imagine yourself getting a detox in a lush green surroundings in the beautiful state of Kerala.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Quad countries are united by democratic values and commitment to a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. Addresses First Quad Leaders Virtual Summit. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav marking 75th anniversary of India's independence launched from Sabarmati Ashram in Gujarat. Prime Minister says development of Atmanirbhar Bharat will boost the development of the world. Filing of nominations begins for third phase of assembly elections in West Bengal and Assam and single-phase elections in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Tirath Singh Rawat inducts 11 ministers in his cabinet. Mera Ration mobile app for migratory ration card holders launched. India supplies over 5 crore 85 lakh doses of vaccines to nearly 70 countries. India and China review the situation along LAC in the western sector, agreed to maintain stability at ground level and maintain close communication through diplomatic and military channels. And in T20 cricket, India sets a target of 125 runs for England in the first of 5-match series in Ahmedabad. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back. You are listening to the evening news. Principal Director General of All India Radio News N. Venudha Reddy to the inaugurated an exhibition in Guwahati commemorating the Amrit Mahotsav. The exhibition is organized by the Regional Outreach Bureau, Guwahati. Addressing the gathering on this occasion, Mr. Reddy said it would be a great occasion to celebrate the pride and history of the country. He said that the new generation would get to know more about the nation's freedom struggle through the exhibition. The process of filing of nominations began today for the third phase of assembly elections in the states of Assam and West Bengal and the single-phase elections in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Union Territory of Puducherry. In Assam and West Bengal, today was the last day for the withdrawal of candidature for the first phase of assembly elections and filing of nominations for the second phase. In the first phase, 47 assembly constituencies of Assam and 30 constituencies of West Bengal will go to polls on the 27th of this month. In the second phase, 39 constituencies of Assam and 30 constituencies of West Bengal will go to polls on the 1st of April. Polling for the third phase will be held on 6th of April. 40 constituencies of Assam and 31 constituencies of West Bengal will go to polls. The single-phase polling in Kerala, Tamil Nadu along with the Union Territory of Puducherry will also be held on the 6th of April. 234 constituencies in Tamil Nadu, 140 constituencies in Kerala and 30 constituencies in Puducherry will go to polls on this day. Our Thiruvananthapuram correspondent has filed this report.
As the election nears, three major fronts are in full swing election preparations. LDF campaigns are strongly progressing in the state. Constituency conventions and public meetings are taking place in very active manner. In UDF, the Congress will announce the candidates day after tomorrow. The Muslim League and ally of UDF has announced its candidates in 27 constituencies today. The announcement of the BJP's candidate list is likely to take place tomorrow. BDJs and ally of NDA released a second list of candidates today. Meanwhile, special observers appointed by the Election Commission of India have arrived in Kerala to monitor the conduct of polls in the state. Mayusha for AR News from Kozhikode.
BJP has urged the Election Commission to conduct an independent inquiry into the Nandigam incident in which West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee suffered injuries. A party delegation today met the Commission in New Delhi over the issue. Talking to reporters after the meeting, BJP General Secretary Bhupendra Yadav said his party has also urged the poll body to make public the raw footage of the day when the TMC chief was there to file her nomination for assembly elections. The government of West Bengal has submitted a detailed report regarding the Nandigam incident in which the Chief Minister of the state got injured. The report has been submitted to the CEO office today and it will be sent to the ECI. Meanwhile, Mamata Banerjee has been released from hospital this evening.
Former Kerala Pradesh Congress Committee Secretary Vijayan Thomas joined the BJP today. He was inducted in the party in the presence of Party General Secretary Arun Singh in New Delhi. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Tirath Singh Rawat expanded his Council of Ministers today. Governor Baby Rani Maurya administered the oath of office to 11 ministers at Raj Bhavan. Our correspondent has filed this report.
Banshidhar Bhagat, Vishan Singh Chupal, Ganesh Joshi and Swami Yatishwaranand are the new faces of Tirath Singh Rawat's team who took oath today. However, Satpal Maharaj, Arak Singh Rawat, Yashpal Arya, Arvind Pandey, Subodh Unial, Rekha Arya, Dhan Singh Rawat were ministers in ex-Chief Minister Trivendra Singh Rawat's team. MLA from Gadarpur, Arvind Pandey, took oath in Sanskrit. After chairing the ceremony, Chief Minister Tirath Singh Rawat said that the developmental work done by the earlier Chief Minister will be taken forward for the benefit of every person in the state. Raghavesh Pandey, TIR News, Dehradun.
Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution today launched Mera Ration mobile app for the benefit of those ration card holders who move to new places in search of livelihood. Addressing media in New Delhi, Secretary Sudhanshu Pandey said that at present 32 states and union territories are covered under One Nation, One Ration Card (ONORC), and integration of remaining 4 states and UTs is expected to be completed in next few months.
More than 2,61,64,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines have been administered to the beneficiaries in the country so far. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry has informed today that a total of 4,80,740 doses of vaccines have been administered to the beneficiaries in the last 24 hours. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate declined to 96.85%, with a total recovery of more than 15,000 patients within 24 hours. However, the active case load is continuously rising in the country due to sudden spike in cases in various states. India has supplied over 5,85 lakh doses of made-in-India vaccines to nearly 70 countries till date. Out of the total, nearly 80 lakh doses have been supplied free of cost as grant aid to 35 countries, whereas 1,64 lakh doses have been supplied under COVAX facility route to around 18 countries. COVAX is a unique global collaboration with more than 2/3 of the countries in the world engaged together in order to ensure equitable supply of COVID vaccines. The Ministry of External Affairs has informed that over 3,39 lakh vaccine doses have also been sent to 15 different countries on commercial basis.
India and China today reviewed the situation along the line of actual control in the Western sector in the 21st meeting of the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on India-China Border Affairs. The two sides had in-depth discussions on the remaining issues along the LAC in the Western sector. The Indian delegation was led by Additional Secretary East Asia from Ministry of External Affairs. Both sides agreed that the completion of the disengagement in North and South Bank of Pangong Lake provided a good basis to work towards early resolution of the remaining issues. They agreed that the agreement reached between the two foreign ministers in Moscow in September last year, as also their recent phone conversation last month, should continue to guide the work of two sides. The two sides should continue their dialogue to reach a mutually acceptable solution for complete disengagement from all friction points at the earliest. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar discussed bilateral cooperation with his Syrian counterpart Dr. Faisal Magdad. In a tweet, Dr. Jaishankar said they agreed to work together on humanitarian, health and capacity building challenges.
Retail inflation CPI inched up to 5.03% in February. According to the Ministry of Statistics, the program implementation data released today, inflation increased mainly due to rise in food and fuel prices. Food inflation rose to 3.87% in February compared to 1.89% in the previous month. Inflation in fuel and light category fell marginally to 3.53% in February compared to 3.87% in January, but remained high compared to the corresponding period of the previous year. Benchmark domestic stocks today fell around 1% amid mixed global cues. The BSE Sensex slipped below 51,000 mark. The rupee appreciated 12 paise against the US currency. A report from the Business World.
Sensex declined by 487 points, or 0.95% to finish at 50,792. The NSE Nifty also lost 144 points, or 0.95% to close at 15,031. The broader market at the BSE outperformed the Sensex as the BSE Mid-Cap Index slipped 0.45%, while the BSE Small Cap Index appreciated marginally by 0.14%. In the Sensex pack, shares of 26 companies fell, while 4 logged gains. In sectoral indices, 15 out of 19 sectors losses. In the global equity market, Asian stocks traded mixed. Japan's Nikkei 225 surged 1.7%, South Korea's Kospi climbed 1.4%, and China's Shanghai Composite Index gained 0.5%. On the other hand, Hong Kong's Hang Seng plunged 2.2%, and Singapore's Straits Times Index declined at 0.4%. European shares were down in intraday trade. Brent crude prices fell but hovered near the $70 a barrel mark. In intraday trade, Brent crude prices were trading around $69.60 per barrel. Back home, gold prices fell 490 rupees per 10 grams at the multi-commodity exchange for April contracts, in sync with losses in the global markets. And at the foreign exchange market, the rupee today rose by 12 paise to 72 rupees and 79 paise against the US dollar. Arjun Chaudhary for AIR News.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has paid tributes to Ayya Vaikunta Swamigal, a great thinker and social reformer of the 19th century, on his birth anniversary. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said his teachings helped society overcome social barriers and united people. He added that Ayya Vaikunta Swamigal's emphasis on equality continues to inspire everybody. In cricket, India has set a target of 125 runs in the first T20 match against England being played at Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Some fiery bowling spells by English pacer in the opening overs left the Indian openers struggling, and India was reduced to 40 for 3 in the 9th over. Skipper Virat Kohli was out for a duck. However, Rishabh Pant and Shreyas Iyer steered the innings to some extent. Earlier, England won the toss and decided to bowl first. In a surprise move, India skipper Virat Kohli announced that Rohit Sharma will be resting in the first few games. South African women have won rain-interrupted third ODI against India by 6 runs via Duckworth-Lewis DL method in Lucknow. When play stopped, South Africa needed 26 runs in 21 balls, chasing the target of 249 runs. Mithali Raj completed 10,000 runs in international cricket. With this win, South Africa has taken 2-1 lead over Indian women. South Africa won the toss and put India to bat first.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi is likely to have mist in the morning. The temperature will hover between 17 and 33 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature will be 21 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 33 degrees. Chennai is expected to have partly cloudy sky. Kolkata is expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Srinagar will have partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. Jammu will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Leh is expected to have partly cloudy sky with minimum temperature around -5 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 8 degrees. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between 9 and 17 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Dehradun, the minimum temperature will be 14 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 30 degrees. Chandigarh will have partly cloudy sky with temperature likely to hover between 18 and 30 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature will be 20 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 36 degrees. Ahmedabad will have mainly clear sky. Patna will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder and lightning. And Guwahati is likely to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder and lightning. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Quad countries are united by democratic values and commitment to a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific, addresses the first Quad Leaders Virtual Summit. Prime Minister urges vibrant startup community to look after Ayurveda, addresses Global Ayurveda Festival. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav marking 75th anniversary of India's independence, launched from Sabarmati Ashram in Gujarat. Prime Minister says development of Atmanirbhar Bharat will boost the development of the world. Filing of nominations begins for the third phase of assembly elections in West Bengal and Assam, and single-phase elections in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. India and China reviewed the situation along LAC in Western sector, agreed to maintain stability at the ground level and maintain close communication through diplomatic and military channels. And with that, we end the evening news. And in the spirit of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav will launch today, we'll leave you with this memorable song.